Hey guys, so for those of you who don't know, I'm a pretty big fan of Sam Ovens. And about a week ago, he released a YouTube video where he was talking about hiring someone to help him make YouTube videos. Because for any of you that follow him, you know that it's been something that he hasn't been able to stay consistent with. And I can attest to that as well. I totally understand. But, what I wanted to talk about today in this video is how guys like Sam Ovens and other people in like the tech entrepreneur space are really being missed out on as real philosophical minds in this day and age. So I've actually taken Sam's consulting accelerator course, which is now closed, unfortunately. But that had in it a full week of course material. It was 5 full days of 3 hours each course material just about mindset. And that content really gave you not only a powerful framework of like, how to visualize and get what you want and all that stuff you always read about in like the tech entrepreneur, you can do it, go get 'em space, but he covers the philosophy of why these things work. And he covers the history of the philosophers who discovered them and the things that he has built on top of that that he's found for himself to be the most effective. And for any of you that practice philosophy, that is exactly what a philosopher is. So once Sam kind of goes into this a little bit more, in this video, he starts talking about a bunch of different ideas around how he's feeling right now, right? Because he's asking to hire somebody, he needs the help, and you might be wondering if he's feeling stressed or anything else. And he says, just kind of in a quick throwaway paragraph, how he's feeling. And he says, I'm feeling pretty happy right now. I'm building exciting shit. I'm solving problems. I'm discovering new things every day, and I'm getting really excited about everything that I'm doing. And then he just kind of moves on, right? Couldn't have taken more than 15 seconds for him to say that piece there. But it made me like instantly pause the video and start to think about what that could actually mean. And I started playing around with this bullet pointed list he knocked out really quick, because it was obvious to me that this is how Sam frames in his mind whether or not he's feeling good, right? He kind of has made it an objective item as opposed to something that you feel on the inside, right? He realized he can kind of like incept happiness into himself if he uses these tenets, right? And so I broke them down a little bit more, and I came to the realization that it's really 4 major items he's talking about. What is he building? What problems is he solving? What is he trying to discover? And what is he getting excited about? And so one of the first things I did to play around with this for myself is I turned it into a Venn diagram. And here's my Venn diagram for some of the personal things that I feel working with this system, right? And so you can see I've written in here, build a house, a classic car, a family. Already have a couple of those, doing okay. Things I want to solve, things that excite me, things I'd like to discover. And some of these are really big dreams, right? And they might be stuff that I'm not even working on right now. And what I realized as I worked through this is that sometimes you'll have a few items that only fit into one category, but oftentimes you have items that fit into 2, that fit into 3, that fit into 4. And the more categories that a thing that you're doing fits into, especially if it's in your daily life, the more happiness that item gives you, that piece of doing gives you. And so I started to play with this a little bit more, and I was like, what if I journal around this every day? So like, I started my day yesterday by journaling, what am I building today, right? I'm working on my web development business. I'm working on building a small market garden in my yard. I'm working on building my wife's government contracting business. And those are the things I wrote down for building, right? What am I solving, right? What problems am I solving? And then, of course, what came to mind were the problems I needed to solve to move those items forward to keep them building, right? Which was a huge exercise because it reminded you of the problems you're working on, which for me made me work towards solving those problems that day. It just kind of like forced me into it. What do I want to discover, right? So now we know what the problem is from solve, but what are we hoping to get to, right? What are we hoping to discover as we solve these problems? And as I journaled through that, I said, well, I want to discover a new marketing medium for my web development company. I want to discover good connections for my wife's contracting company. So the discoveries became obvious. And then finally, what am I excited about, right? Building this market garden out. Making my web development business more profitable so that I can help more Filipinos raise out of poverty. Working with my family to be happier and healthier through better choices and better lifestyle, right? These are the things I'm excited about as I journaled that. And so I found that on a day-to-day basis, you can use this quick paradigm, build, solve, discover, excite, to refocus you and really make you feel happy about the things that you need to get done. Even if like a day job's in the way or something, or a bunch of work you don't want to do is in the way, you still can realize like, oh man, but if I just get home and work on these two things, like my life will be meaningfully better and I'll feel happier about it, right? It kind of becomes this happiness paradigm. And another thing that became obvious to me as I thought about these 4 words more is I think if you really think about it, these are 4 base functions that are almost exclusive to humans, right? Like apes have started to build tools and solve problems, and they clearly get excited and they discover new things. But if you had to choose like a function that was exclusive to the human condition, right? I think one of these 4 would appear somewhere in that list, and to me, I was like, if you had to explain the human condition to an alien, like on a computer, it's very possible you could use these tenets as a great way to explain what makes all of us us. We're putting something together, we're solving a problem, we're discovering new things, and we're getting excited about it while we're doing it. So, I hope you guys found this video useful. A little bit of a different thing here. If you did, give it a like. Be sure to share it with anybody else you think that might find it useful. And I'll see you in the next one.